Oh, that one's working. A ton of people waiting. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's really people. Okay. Okay. Hey, everybody, do you see me now? I just realized I'm live while I was like fixing all that. Oh my gosh, you probably saw me like spill my water and everything. Hello, everybody. Okay, my phone was not connecting to my computer. And so I had to scramble. I had to do what we do, right? And I went into my messy closet that those of you who were at Educate and Rejuvenate, the event, were at, and found an old webcam and just hooked it up to my computer. So we're here. We're live. We're going. Hello. Not how I intended on starting today, but thank you for your patience. Luckily, we're only 4 minutes late, so not too bad for my camera not working. So hello, everybody. Welcome. And you can hear me now, right? Love the messy closet type B unite. Yes, that was a fun discussion at our event recently. Okay, so there are so many of you here. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today for the release of Educate and Rejuvenate, the book. And this is actually the only physical copy I have so far. Soon we'll have our lovely copies without that on it. I cannot wait. I want to know who has pre-ordered a copy so far. Or I guess it's not even pre-order anymore. It's like actually ordering a copy. How exciting is that? And then I would love for you to comment and tell me, let's see. I got to pull up my notes too. I planned on having, like, I've gotten here. Luckily, I got in here like 15 minutes early and everything. And I was going to get all set up. And I'm like, wait, what is going on with my camera? So, anyways, so I wanted everybody to comment. Where did all my notes go? Here we go. All right, we are good to go. Lots of you here. Marie Chris says she loves your eye makeup, making your eyes pop out. You are so sweet. Okay, so comment. Okay, I had a good list of things. Comment where you're from, what you teach, how you're feeling right now, because we talk about that a lot in the Educate and Rejuvenate book. And one good thing that's happened this week, because we want to like train our brains to focus on the positive, right? So hello from Florida, hello from Virginia. See a lot of you saying you pre-ordered your copy. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate those of you who have, and if you haven't, no worries. There's still plenty of time. Tonight, though, one of you may not need to, because I am going to pick one of you to get a signed and personalized copy sent to you in the mail. And the way you enter to win that giveaway is by commenting. Like, so you're already doing it if you're commenting here. So comment on this post. My team will pick a winner for the giveaway. And at the end of the live, I will announce that winner. So literally all you have to do is comment. Bonus points if you tag friends in the comments. So be sure to tag all your teacher friends. I see my friend Hannah in the chat. Happy birthday, Hannah. I know it's your birthday today. So thank you for being here. Megan, Marilyn, Amberly, Teresa, Marie Chris, John, Andrea, Gloria. So many of you, Charity, Tara. I see familiar faces. I see new faces, new names. I love it. I love seeing you all here. Okay, so remember, every comment you do is going to enter you in to win this signed and personalized book. Now, I also want to let you know, you might hear me read out some comments you can't see. Sometimes I get people being like, wait, I don't see that comment. And I know that because, especially those of you who are from the Educate and Rejuvenate community, we love being able to chat with each other. Like, it's really a community where we all come together. So if I read off comments you can't see, it's because we are also streaming on the Teacher Goals platforms as well. Right now we're live on the Educate and Rejuvenate pages, but we're also live on the Teacher Goals pages all at once. So if I read a comment and you're like, I can't see that comment, don't stress about it. You're still in the right place. All good. Okay, so I want to ask you a few questions. Okay. Oh, look, I see some other amazing comments. I love seeing that some of you have made it another week and have your progress reports ready for a night early. Those questions asked, right? Tara Lynn's positive thing is having dinner at my mom's tonight. I didn't think to have to think about or make dinner. Love not making dinner decisions after a day of working. You can't see me on the event page. Okay, I'm not sure. Can you all see me? I think one of my team members said you can't see me on the event page. I don't know if that means like the event on Facebook. Hoping everybody can see me. Okay, I think everybody here can see me right now. So hopefully we're good. Okay, let's see. We had people telling Hannah happy birthday. We've got a bunch of you here. Tara finished day 8. Amazing. Love seeing so many of you here. Okay, glad you can all see me. Perfect. Want to make sure that we can see everybody here. Okay, so I have some questions I want to ask you, and this will help us to just kind of see where we're all at right now as teachers, right? Like, there's so much going on for all of us, right? I mean, even just looking at the comments, what everybody's doing, like I've got this going on, I've got that going on, right? Do you ever feel like you're just so tired and like burned out all the time? Do you ever feel that? And again, by answering these questions, you're going to be entered in to win that signed and personalized copy of the book as well. So let me know. Do you ever feel that? Do you ever feel like you're just so tired, so burnt out? If not, what else is it you're feeling? What is it that you're feeling? Jonathan says on occasion. That's nice. Okay. Tara says all day, every. And by occasion, I mean it's nice that it's not all the time, right? Obviously, we're all going to feel it from time to time because that's part of the human experience, right? We're going to have all the full range of emotions. So we talk about that in the book. But what we want to do is not have to feel it all the time, right? And not feel it any more than we need to. Amberly says, I feel exhausted all the time. Elena says, definitely. Tiffany had a come to Jesus day all day today. Who's had that before? I think we've all definitely had that for sure. So then we have some wins too. Linda said a great win for the week has been going through SPED training with so many retired teachers that are now subbing. I love that, Linda. Good for you. Good for you doing that training. Not on the live event. Okay, so StreamYard just makes that page. So we'll just need to share the live, Kinsey, to the other pages to share it so everybody can get in. But let Kelsey, the other Kelsey on our team, know if you need help. Since I need to get on with the live. Okay. Yeah, Sarah had 3 IEP meetings in 2 days. Yeah, that'll leave any teacher feeling pooped, right? Like she said. Finally have your schedule completed. Hope to feel better about school soon. Oh, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how we can get feeling better. Who wants to feel better? Like more of the time, more often. I'm going to see if I can adjust this a little bit. So this is oh, I don't like that. That's fine. We're just going with it. My other camera had like the perfect placement with it, but you know, it's all good. It's technology. Okay, but here's the deal. And I want to know what you all think. And I did a poll recently on our Instagram stories. And over 76%, I can't remember if it was 76 or 78, but over 76% of teachers said that they always or almost always put their job ahead of their own needs. So they put teaching, what their students need, what their kids need ahead of themselves and what they need. Does that statistic sound accurate to you? I want to know. Let me know in the chat. Andrea said, that is so crazy. It is crazy, right? Or maybe you were talking to Amberly. I can't see the like threads of comments in StreamYard. I know. And that's the other great thing about the Educate and Rejuvenate community too, is you're always commenting with each other. But then in StreamYard, it just shows me one long stream of comments. Lisa says, truth for 30 years. Yes. Tiffany says, sad but true. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of yes. Hearing a lot of people feeling that. Unfortunately, so true. 100%. I am happy. My marble jar is so helpful. So Gloria is one of my amazing clients, members of the Educate and Rejuvenate Club. And that's something that we worked on together. So that's been fun. I'm so glad the marble jar has been helpful. We'll have to do that. We're probably going to do that for our November challenge in the Educate and Rejuvenate community. Okay, but really, my goal is that this statistic needs to change. In fact, and the full data. So it's not like a huge sample size. It was over 300 teachers in our Instagram stories. We had 76% say always or almost always put teaching ahead of themselves. 22, I think it was, say sometimes, and 2% never. Hopefully that math is adding up. But my goal is to flip that. I would rather have most teachers say that they rarely or never are putting their job ahead of themselves. And that doesn't mean that your job still isn't a high priority. Like, we love our students. We love teaching, right? And we want to do the best job we possibly can. But what I'm here to tell everybody is that the way that we do our best as a teacher is by actually taking care of ourselves, because we can't pour from an empty cup. Do you agree with me on this? Like, maybe in your head you're like, yeah, I agree with you, but maybe not in practice. But does that at least sound like a realistic idea? Amberly says, I want healthier balance. Jonathan says, yes. Andrea said, when you mentioned that in one of the podcasts, my jaw dropped. Yeah. I've been using this stat a lot to just drive a point, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is data we collected from our own community. And I'm just like, it can't be that way. Like, it just can't. Like, it breaks my heart that so many educators feel the need to constantly think of themselves last, and constantly pour from an empty cup, and constantly feel burned out and stressed. And that doesn't make for a sustainable career. That is why there are so many teachers quitting teaching, wonderful teachers. And that is a loss for these schools, for these districts, for these kids, that these teachers who are leaving feel that they can't do it anymore. And of course, I'm all for everybody doing whatever they need to do, but also I really want those teachers, so many of you still want to teach, right? You still want to be in a classroom, and you want to help kids, and you want to plan fun lessons, and you want to do the parts of teaching that you love. But there's just so much stress. There's so much overwhelm, and you feel alone. And that's why I wrote this book, honestly. That is why I wrote Educate and Rejuvenate, this new book that just came out today, because I don't want you all to have to feel that way. And I know what it's like, because I've been there. In fact, in the introduction of the book, I share this story of when I was crying, like completely bawling in tears, having a panic attack on my classroom floor over a lost library book. And it was because, and you're all going to laugh at this story when you read it. But I'll give you a little sneak peek of it though. So I was a brand new teacher, right? I was kind of naive. Were any of you naive as a brand new teacher? Didn't quite know what you were getting into. So we were doing a animals and habitats unit. And actually I loved it so much. That unit was wonderful. My students loved it. It was very student-led. It got students really engaged who loved what, like, even students who usually weren't engaged, they're really excited to research about their animal, to research about their habitat. I taught 3rd grade. But my school didn't have the books that we needed to do this research. Anybody had that? And we didn't have iPads. No iPads. We had 2 computers for the entire class, and that just wasn't going to cut it for the time frame that we had. So I did what we all do, right? I found my own resources. I went to the public library and I used my library card, and I was a broke teacher who couldn't afford to replace all the books if they got lost. But it didn't even cross my mind that the students would lose a library book, which is laughable to me now. I'm like, how did that not even cross my mind? Because like, of course that's going to happen, especially like I didn't have them check it out. I didn't know who had what book. I didn't know any of that. We learn these things as we go, right? I didn't know that at the time. So at the end of the unit, one of the books was missing. And in hindsight, I'm really like, wow, only one? That's amazing. Like I only have to cover one book. But at that time, I was very stressed out about money. I was a brand new teacher, paying off student loans. My husband wasn't making much money either. We were having a baby. And it wasn't just the library book. It was the stress of everything else. And it was kind of a breaking point where I just started bawling on my classroom floor, having a complete meltdown. And that wasn't the only time. Like even I share in the book a story that actually led me in the ER with a panic attack after I had my third child. So this is something that just kept repeating. And I even thought, because I want to let all of you know that if you're like, oh, if I just left teaching, then everything would be better, right? If I just stopped teaching full time, that's what I thought. So then I started subbing and doing teachers pay teachers part-time and doing the mom thing, right? I was still getting stressed out just as often. And it's because I was still thinking the same way. I was still taking care of myself in the same way. And by taking care of myself in the same way, I mean not taking care of myself in the same way, right? And I see here in the chat, so many of you, like Andrea saying, yes, chicken with my head cut off. Amberly says, stress and overwhelm can be so overpowering and take over. Teaching has gotten harder over the years, the behaviors, lack of support, etc. Yeah, there are so many things that are out of our control, right? Teaching is different today. I want snacks. Yeah, right? Working a second job to get by. I love my weekends back. Sarah is so excited for everyone to read my book. She was an early reader, so thank you, Sarah. I'm so excited for everybody to read it too. But that is why I wrote this book. And in this book, I am sharing strategies that are going to help you to be able to focus not on the things you can't control, like, exactly what your paycheck is from your district, right? Or, what your administrator says, or what students are in your classroom. We can't control all that. But what we can control is our response, right? Our thoughts. And again, we can't always control every thought that comes into our mind, but we can not believe every thought we think. That is something I share in the book, right? We can actually pay attention to what is it I'm thinking? How is that driving me to feel? Like, am I talking so negatively about myself all the time? Am I beating myself up like all the time? Like things like that, right? That really bring us down. So we talk a lot about our thoughts. We talk a lot about our feelings. And a lot of times what happens is kind of like why I ended up in a meltdown and why I kept having panic attacks, because it wouldn't let myself feel my feelings. I just forced myself to keep go, like pushing through. No, I have to do this. No, I have to do that. I need to do this thing too. I'm going to take work home. I'm going to grade papers all night. I'm going to, do all the things because I have to do it. I'm not going to have any boundaries, right? And these are all skills that you can learn from this book. They're really going to help you to finally do what the subtitle says, which is revitalize your teaching, even though there aren't actually a ton of actual teaching strategies in the book. It is more about you and taking care of yourself. It is going to revitalize your teaching because it starts with you. You're going to renew your spirit. If you feel uninspired, you're feeling like, I don't know if this is something I want to do anymore, or I just am not enjoying my life, we're going to reignite your passion for life, for teaching, you're going to get new ideas. You're going to feel more inspired because you're taking care of yourself. And I want to know, do you feel, I know some of you here, and there are 909 of you here right now across the various platforms. Amazing. I know that there's probably at least one of you here who's like, Kelsey, that sounds great, but I don't know if I believe that I could actually do that. Like, yeah, in theory, I get what you're saying, but I don't think I can do it. Is anybody thinking that right now? You can be honest. I'm going to grab a drink quick. But let me tell you, if any of you are thinking that right now, if you would have asked me 6 years ago when I had that last panic attack after my third child, or 20 12 years ago when I had that one that I talk about in my introduction in my book, if that I would be writing a book as basically a self-help book for other educators, I would have laughed. I would have been like, I am not somebody who can help others with this. I can't even do it myself. But here's the thing. Over the past 5 years, I have learned and grown so much through doing everything that's in this book. And some of you probably have a better baseline than me, than I did when I started out. Like, I was going to the hospital with panic attacks. And now I have gone through this personal development journey and certified as a life coach, exclusively working with teachers. I'm coaching teachers. A bunch of you are here, and I love that you're here. Thank you for supporting me. Every week we get together and I coach you and we talk about what's going on. And also, and some of you are here. I want to know, have these tools helped you? Have they helped you in doing all these things? Those of you who are here, feel free to share in the comments, the chat for everybody else here. And I want to know, I want you to know it's not like I'm saying like, here's the magic pill. Your life's going to be perfect. Grab this book and you'll never have to do anything else again in your life. That's not what I'm saying. That would be unrealistic. And I'm not making promise to you I can't keep. But what I can tell you is that if you read this book, even if you just read it, it's going to make a big difference for you. It's going to make a huge difference in your life. And then if you apply it with the tools that you get with your book purchase, which I will share here shortly, especially if you continue even just like 10 minutes a day for the rest of the school year, let's say. You say 10 minutes to do the workbook or to tune into something on the app that you're going to get access to. Yes, a mobile app that you're going to get access to when you buy this book. You are going to see such a huge difference in your life. The little bits are what add up. The little wins, the 1% improvement each day. And we talk about that in the book too. So I am just so thrilled to be sharing this with all of you. And okay, I want to share what some of you said. Latrice says, yes, I recognize all these names because they're all members I've worked with. Amberly says it's definitely a journey. I believe it's possible, but not easy. Yes, and it's not easy. I definitely won't say it's easy, but it's doable and it's worth it. And to me, it's easier than not doing it because not doing it is also hard. Not doing it, you're going to continue feeling stress and overwhelm and burnout, and you're not going to see your family as much. You're not going to do all these things. Like, it's really about choosing which heart do you want, right? Do you want the heart of doing the work, or do you want the heart of staying where you are? That's a question only you can answer. Katie says, yes and amen. Your club has made a huge impact on your life. Linda says, yes, many times. Your first book was so amazingly helpful. Can't wait to read this one. Is it one of the little ebooks I had at one point? I haven't written like an actual book. This is my first actual book. I'm so excited. I've done a lot of podcasts though. The friendships and skills we got out of this group have made a huge difference. But again, it is about this book too. What I did. So Tara said yes. And I've just realized that even more. Okay, I'm going to take a drink quick. I'm like, this happens to me on live sometimes. So I get really excited. Like my throat gets, now we got to take care of ourselves, right? I've just realized that even more since I haven't been participating in the club much last month. Just joining tonight has already helped. Oh, so Tara notices like, oh, I haven't been doing it as much. I notice a difference versus when I'm coming versus when I'm participating. So interesting, right? Lisa says, I love it. All the coaches have helped me. Yes, so many things. Hannah says, the tools in this book and the tools in the club have given me clarity I needed to make wise decisions. And yesterday I said no to a request and it felt good to set a boundary for my own self. Who's had a hard time setting boundaries before? We talk about all of this in the book. Amberly definitely wants to improve how she thinks and feels. Andrea loves the podcast. Love it. Okay, but here's the thing. So all of these comments I just shared on the screen are, again, a lot of the clients that I've coached, and I love doing that. And what I did is I literally took everything I learned from the coaching I've done and put it together in this book. And I actually created a framework for this book that I didn't have before. Because before in the club, and those of you who are in there can testify to it, and when I say the club, I mean our coaching community. It's a membership that we have where I come on and I coach every week. It's a group coaching program. But I would just teach random things, right? And even the first draft I turned into teacher goals was just like a bunch of random chapters. It was like, now we're going to talk about your thoughts, and now we're going to talk about your feelings, and now we're going to talk about time management. And it just felt so jumbled. And I was going through that draft and I was like, I need something to make this like easier to understand. I really need to be able to figure out like a framework that all the tools like fit under. And I'll actually talk about this process even more on Sundays live, because we don't have time to get into that tonight. But that whole process of creating the framework. But I basically dove in even deeper into so much research that I hadn't even done yet, that wasn't even covered in my certification. I feel like I did a whole second certification signing up for this book in addition to what I learned in my certification. Because teacher goals kept being like, oh, you need to cite that. You need to cite that in my first edit. I'm like, oh, and then when I would find something to cite it, I'd learn so much more. And so it's all together in this book, everything that I've been teaching our members, that our members have been seeing a difference with. It is all in this book, in one nice playbook. And even Hannah, who's here in the chat, she's like, I feel like this made everything that you've taught me the past year in the club click. Like it was like clarity for my brain. Like now I understand much more what you've been talking about. So this is the perfect way to get started, or even if this is all you do with the Educate and Rejuvenate community, because everything is right here. It's like your playbook. And there are so many bonuses. Like that's what I actually really want to get to tonight, is sharing what you get when you purchase the book. Amberly says, sometimes the hard of work is so hard that it's difficult to find time for yourself. Yes. Jonathan said, got to support newbie teachers any way possible. We're all newbies once. Absolutely. If you know a newbie teacher, grab them a copy of this book too. In fact, grab one for them and one for you, because they will share. If you buy 2 copies of the book, you're going to get extra bonuses. And we actually have more bonuses if you purchase more copies of the book. And it can be like an admin buying it for their school or whatever too. So I'll be sharing all about that shortly. First, really quickly, I want to go over a little bit about that framework though. I want you to walk away, even just from this live, understanding what it is you're going to get out of this book, but also something to already think on and ponder on just from being here. So the first section of the book, I want to show you, it's divided into 3 sections, and Teacher Goals did such a great job at putting together these cute section dividers. I requested the section dividers, but they actually put them together for each section. So the first one is called Observe Yourself. That is the first step of the framework. And here's the thing that I love about this framework is it's simple. It's like so simple to understand. There's a lot to it, and there's a lot we can learn from it, but it's so simple to understand. So let me even just read you what it says under Observe Yourself. It says, normally we just go with the flow of our lives. We don't take time to notice what we're thinking, feeling, or experiencing. Our brain sees problems from outside of us and naturally overlooks the solutions that can come from within. When we become observers, we pay attention to the way we think about problems so that we can resolve them. So a few questions I have for all of you that kind of tie into this section of the book. The first one is, and Valerie, I'm going to star questions that I see, make sure we come back to them, because I will probably answer your question later on, Valerie. But do you, all of you who are here right now, do you ever feel so overcome with overwhelm? Like you're just feeling overwhelmed like all the time? How many of you? Any of you feel that? Nobody feels overwhelmed all the time. I know there's a little bit of a delay here in StreamYard too. Okay, I'm seeing them come in now. I'm seeing them now. Yeah, sometimes, most of the time, yes. Overcome with overwhelm, yes. Always. Yeah. And overwhelm is a big feeling. Now, can you tell me, what does it feel like for you? What does it feel like when you're overwhelmed? Now, Latrice says now. Oh, man. Take a breath, Latrice. Whew, you're safe. Tara says, better question is when I don't feel overwhelmed. Katie says, hot, sweaty, tired. Yeah. So how does it feel? How does it feel when you're overwhelmed? Overwhelm is overpowering. Yeah. Crushing. Digging a hole in the sand. Ooh, these are all good descriptions. It feels like I'm frozen and can't make the right decisions. Ooh, Sabrina. Okay, let's touch on that one for a sec, because we talk about that too. Because when you feel like you're frozen, that might be even more. And we talk about this in the book too. So there are, in this section, there's the first chapter, which is like about getting curious. Like, and I say like a student teacher, because we're really just getting curious about ourselves and like what we're thinking, what we're feeling. We're just like observing ourselves. The way I talk about it is that I'm watching myself like I'm at a blockbuster film and I've got my Diet Coke and I've got my popcorn, and I'm just watching the show. I even talk about myself in third person. I'm like, oh, what is Kelsey doing right now? Oh, why is Kelsey thinking that? That's interesting. I'm not even going to try to change it yet. We do that in the second section, right? We're just observing. We're not trying to change yet. And that's really important too. And we talk about that in the book. We can't just try to change things right away. We really need to understand the why. We need to see it through and question it a little bit. Questions are so powerful. That's why I'm asking a lot of questions tonight. But yes, so let's touch on, so again, I'm going to get to why we have Sabrina's comment up. So we have chapter 1 where we just talk about the general observing yourself. Then we have a couple chapters where we talk about our thoughts. So is it really true? You don't have to believe every thought you think. We talk about how it's not our circumstances, but our thoughts that control our feelings. A lot of times we say things like, these students are making me so upset or whatever, but it's actually what we're thinking about it. And I talk about that much more in depth in chapter 2. We also talk about a lot of cognitive distortions in there. Then in chapter 3, we talk about the self-coaching model that helps us see how our thoughts drive our feelings, drive our actions, drive our results. I'm not going to be able to get into all of this super in depth tonight. That's why you're definitely going to want to grab a copy of this book. Then we talk about understanding our feelings, which is really like what are we feeling? And allowing ourselves to actually feel it instead of trying to push it away or bottle it up. All those things I was talking about, which is what we tend to do. We tend to bottle it up and then we tend to overthink. We tend to be in our brain thinking all the negative thoughts that we aren't noticing those thoughts, but we are in our head. We do like notice the thoughts somewhat. I mean, I kind of contradicted myself there. I use the same word. We can definitely, we're ruminating in the thoughts, we're having them. We don't notice like, oh, should I be having this thought? Right. And chapter 5 is befriending our nervous system. So when you talk about it feels like I'm frozen and I can't make the right decisions, in chapter 5, we talk all about that, because what tends to happen, and a lot of times teachers that can actually get chronically stressed in some of these, is you might be in a stress response. You might be in the fight, flight, or freeze. And in fact, I actually, at the beginning of chapter 5, I tell a story that is actually a freeze response. It's about a teacher who is having an observation, like her principals come in to observe. And all of a sudden, she was well prepared, but all of a sudden she can't remember anything. Like, wait, what's going on? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm fumbling with my papers. What do I do with these papers? Like, oh, the kids what am I doing? And it's because your body is trying to conserve energy. It's turning off non-essential functions because it doesn't know the difference between the threat of a bear coming after you or a threat of your principal walking into the classroom. And we need to tell our bodies that it's okay. And we need to deal with that stress itself and not just the stressor. And we talk about that, how we do that in this book too, because otherwise we can get stuck in those stress responses. And we don't want that to happen, right? Oh, I see a lot of you not liking when that happens. Okay, hide current comment. There we go. But hopefully that helped, Sabrina. Another question. I feel like I'd probably overplanned for today, I'm realizing. But honestly, I could keep talking we could go longer too. I mean, as long as people are engaging in stuff, I'm happy to and if anybody needs to go anytime, whatever. Katie says, congratulations, Kelsey. This is so exciting to see the book. I know. I'm so thrilled, you guys. You don't even know. This has been a project for so long and it got pushed back so many times, most of which were on my end because I needed more time. It was like when I came up with that framework, I was like, I need to redo this whole book. That's really what it felt like, but I'm so glad I did. Okay. So that is section 1. Again, we're talking about our thoughts, our feelings, our nervous system. Section 2 of the book was the name of the book. Great comment. I realized that some of the other Teacher Goals authors, they put this cute thing on the bottom that has the book and everything the whole time they're live. So I'll probably make sure I do that for tomorrow's live. Well, as soon as I came in here, I was like, oh, I need to do that. And I actually had time. I thought I was going to get to do that. And then my camera wasn't working. So, but we're here. Okay. So The book is titled Educate and Rejuvenate by Kelsey Sorensen. That's me. So you can find it on Amazon, and then, or Barnes and Noble. I think maybe Target too, but you can order it online. It's available on Kindle or a paperback copy. And where are we buying the book? I'm linking Amazon mostly everywhere. I feel like that's most convenient for most people. But I think it's also on Barnes and Noble and Amazon. You can buy it wherever you want. Okay. So second section is called Choose Your Direction. And the interesting thing, the first section is 5 chapters because it really is the baseline. And you're continuing to do this as you move up to the next step of Choose Your Direction. That's why I want to make sure the staircase, like it still has this like as a foundation. And then you have the Choose Your Direction because you're still observing once you start choosing, right? It's kind of like they all kind of cycle together. Perfect. Elena got the link in the comments so you can snag a copy of the book. Thank you, Elena. Oh, and Kinsey got it there too. Look, everybody's on it. We've got so much support here today. So much support and love. I love it so much. And I think those are on different platforms. So I think Elena commented one place and Kinsey commented on Facebook. Yeah, Elena commented on LinkedIn. So that's the thing. We're on all these different platforms at the same time. So perfect. So choose your direction. And this is a really good question. Okay. So do you ever answer, I don't know, when someone asks you what you want? How often is your answer, I don't know? Or do you ever say, I don't know? Because I do. Do you? A lot of us do, right? Katie says all the time. All the time. When will ours be mailed? So, okay, I will address I know there's some of you who are on our lifetime plan who joined the lifetime membership of the Educate and Rejuvenate Club, who a copy of the book was the thing you were getting. I haven't gotten any of the physical copies yet. That's why we haven't mailed those. But so I'll address that at the end. This is me. Call me Rachel McAdams. LL. Who isn't that who is in the notebook? Yes, and I talk about it in this too. Kids, you might have remembered that from the book. But it's kind of like in the notebook, exactly, when I think Noah is the character's name, right? Ryan Gosling. And then I can't remember Rachel McAdams' character's name, but he's like, what do you want? And she's like, it's not that simple. And then he's like, what do you want? And she's like, it's not that simple. And he's like, stop thinking about your parents want, what your friends want, what I want, what he wants. What do you want? Is what he says. And honestly, that's a lot of what this chapter is, because what I have found from coaching teachers for 2 years now is that so many of us are so focused on what everybody else wants, right? On what our admin wants, what our students want, what the parents want, right? What our spouse or partner wants, what our own children want, what our aging parents want. And we're spending so much time, so much mental energy on what these other people want. And we don't even take that moment to stop and think, well, what do I want? Right? I want to give you a special guest who is on Tuesday. Is it Christina? Actually, I will share that later. The only reason it's not Christina, but it says surprise guest because we hadn't 100% locked it in. So I can star that one to get back to at the end too. But again, that's what we do as teachers too. We oftentimes don't focus on what it is that we want. And we think it's because, like, if we don't do all these things, it's honestly partially a safety thing. Like I mentioned before, we think that we're not going to, like, part of our innate desire just as human beings, the way we're wired, the way we're designed, is that we crave connection with other people. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. That's why we're all here together tonight, right? That's why I love the coaching community that we have so much. But with every good thing, there's like the good side, there's the dark side of it too. And part of that is that we think that we can't have that connection with other people unless we do absolutely everything to make everybody else happy at our own expense. Because when you look at, and a lot of you probably know this because it's big in the education world, but you might not have thought of it in this way. With Maslow's hierarchy of needs, our safety needs, and again, we have our physiological needs, right? Like food and all that. We have our safety needs, like housing, medical, money. The very next one is love and belonging, right? And that comes before our own esteem and self-actualization. So this is about other people, right? Being connected with other people. And this is about us. So that is why we tend to put other people in front of ourselves. But the mistake is thinking that we can't have both, right? It's thinking that we are going to not have love and belonging because I don't do everything that my admin wants me to do exactly the way they want me to do it. Or because this parent sent me an angry email, and if they aren't happy with me, then just innately we think that, again, maybe that you and that parent just aren't going to get along that well, but we make it mean that, like, and again, we obviously need to work with the parents, but you know what I mean? We can't control what they do. Like, you could be teacher of the year. You could be giving above and beyond and doing everything you can, but you can't control what other people do on their side. Right. I love this. Amberly says, being here tonight was me putting myself first. Thank you. Thank you to the, Teacher Goals team for getting that link into all the comments. Thank you for doing that. So if you are looking for the link to the book, Educate and Rejuvenate, make sure to find that link in the comments. It should also be in the description of this post too, because I keep seeing people comment like, wait, where do I get this book? That's where you can get it, on Amazon, or you can search it up on Amazon, or you can click any of those links. So again, it's really important that we consciously choose what we want to think and believe. Because again, we don't have to automatically believe every thought that our brain serves us, right? Because our brain has all these ingrained beliefs that are from when we were young all the way up until now. It's always soaking in different things from its surroundings. But we can choose to look at it more consciously, right? We can choose to first do that observing. And then once we've done that observation, right? It's kind of like once we've dove into those observations and we have analyzed them and been like, asked ourselves some questions and maybe done what I call a thought download, or some people call it a brain dump, where you just really write down, because journaling is something that really brings more clarity than I feel like anything else. That and getting coached by a coach or going to therapy. Any of those things can really help you get a deeper understanding. And then once you have that, you can start being like, okay, well, if I want to actually consciously choose now, instead of letting my unconscious decide all these things, we can choose what we want to think. And then when we do that, we have more control over how we feel, right? Because a lot of the time, unless you're having a nervous system response, our thoughts are what drive our feelings. And so when we think positively more often, then we can feel better more often. So I remember even at the beginning of this live, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, oh, I just want to feel better now that this happened. Guess what? You can feel better right now. You can feel better when you take some time to, one, regulate yourself first if you need to. If you are in a dysregulated state, you're going to want to do that first. And I talk about that in chapter 5 of the book. And that then has a flow chart of how all these tools go together. But then also you can kind of get conscious and figure out, like, what is a better thought I could think? That's another tool we talk about in this choose your direction part, actually, is the power of conscious thinking, right? So we had in one, we talked about, okay, here's another one. And those of you who might have followed me for a long time might know that what I started with was sub-planning, right? Our ready to go sub-plans. And so in here, I had to include a story because this is something I've seen play out over and over and over again, that a lot of teachers, they feel like they can't take a day off, right? Maybe because there's a sub shortage, or because it would make their be inconvenient for their team, or just it's really stressful to make that phone call to call in sick. That was me when I was a young teacher. Like, wait, oh my gosh, my admin is going to be so upset at me if I take a sick day or whatever when I was a new teacher. And so you'll see here kind of with this, like, this is the self-coaching model in the book. You'll see that, and there's a lot of these diagrams throughout the book that it shows, like, and this is actually a different one. That one's about cleaning cabinets. We talk about all types of stuff in this book. But you can see that there are different ways we could think about taking a sub day, right? Like we talk about, there's a teacher, the circumstance stays the same in all of them, right? So it says there are 32 substitutes available in my district. The thought, I can't take a day off because we don't have any subs. The feeling is defeated. The actions, I don't prepare sub plans. I go to school sick. I feel resentful that I don't get to take a day off. I get upset when coworkers take a day off. And the result of that is I don't take a day off. But then we look at what another teacher is thinking about it. Same school. Like we tell the story, this teacher is just down the hall. And same circumstance. There are 32 substitute teachers available in our district, right? Thought I can use the sick days that I've earned. Feeling confident, right? She's feeling confident in her taking care of herself because she earns those sick days. Her actions are she prepared her sub plans ahead of time so they're ready for a sub. She made a plan with her team on what they will do for each other if a sub isn't available. She decides ahead of time that she's going to take a day off when the time comes. And the result of that is she is rested and using her personal days, and basically that she takes a day off, right? When she needs to. But we'll look at it's really important that that thought is accessible to you. And so what we talk about in there is, so there was James is the one who was like, I cannot take a day off. And then I think it was, what was her name? Stacy, who was like, oh yeah, I'm totally confident in this. James might not be able to flip and just think like Stacy, right? Like this isn't about toxic positivity, but we can be like, what is like the next thought up that I could think? Like maybe I am learning that it's okay to take a sick day. And then you're not feeling like super confident maybe, but you're feeling like open, like, oh, or curious, like maybe that's a possibility, right? So that's what it's about. And that's why in the book, and we have all these diagrams, we talk about bridge thoughts, we talk about, or other way around, we talk about bridge thoughts, we talk about ladder thoughts, different ways for you to kind of get more intentional with your thinking. We talk about choosing your dreams and goals so you can, create a much more intentional life, both inside and outside the classroom. And in here, we break down, I'm trying to remember because we edited out some of it. wait, which one stuck? It was about creating the classroom management plan, I think. But we break down how you can use the self-coaching model to meet any goal. And some examples that I've done of that with teachers, but the examples I gave will share how you can do any goal you want with it, is that you can like create a classroom management plan. That's one. Or maybe you want to get your house organized over winter break, or really anything. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever. Whatever goal you have. And I recommend usually having one school related goal and one personal related goal. We have that for you in the included workbook. Yeah, Jonathan says, unfortunately, you can always be replaced. So if you need to take a day off, go for it. Exactly. We all need to take care of ourselves, right? Like teaching, it's a job, right? And a job, sometimes you get to take a day off, right? And even though I know a lot of us feel like, oh yeah, it is a calling, like it's something I'm called to do, but that doesn't mean that your job as a teacher isn't a job, right? Okay, so the final section, let's see. 2 questions. I'm going to just do them together because every time I had way more questions I didn't even get to ask you all because we are just having such a great conversation. I haven't even gotten to sharing all the bonuses yet. So section 3 is called align yourself. So again, you're choosing your direction, you're observing yourself, you're seeing what's going on, you're choosing your direction. Like, what is it that I want, what I need, what are my goals, what is my plan? It's kind of that intentional, like almost like the pivot point. And then you align yourself. So it's kind of like you're creating a map, right? You're creating the direction. And then align yourself is like a compass, like your inner compass. You're aligning yourself with that direction you chose. And then again, throughout it, you're still going to keep observing. You're still going to keep choosing and reassessing, because sometimes you might set a goal and then you might be like, actually, like I realized that's not even what I wanted. It helped me realize it. But I need to adjust this, or I need to not do this. Actually, realized I don't even want it, or whatever. So we're always reassessing, but we're always continuing to do all 3 of those things once we get started with this framework. But the question I had is, do you ever struggle to stick to your goals? And if so, do you ever beat yourself up when you get off track? Tell me in the chat. And again, remember, for every comment, a lot of you have joined me since the beginning. For every comment you put in the chat, you're going to be entered in to win a signed and personalized copy of the book. So comment in the chat. Tag your friends for extra entries in the chat, because those are comments. Any teacher friend who you think could hear this message, because again, we want to flip that statistic. And if we want to flip that statistic, we got to get this message out to as many teachers as we possibly can. We want to flip that stat of the 76% of teachers saying they always put their job ahead of themselves on our Instagram, or the Gallup panel. There's another one I cited in the book, but the reason I've lately been going with the one from my Instagram stories is because every time I share the one from the book, or from the Gallup panel, people are like, no, that's not accurate. It needs to be higher. So then when I actually got one from my own data that was higher, I'm like, oh yeah. That sounds right. Marie Chris says, giving to my daughter's teacher. Love it. Yeah. So, okay. Blame yourself for lack of boundary setting. Yes. So you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Why didn't I honor my boundary? Or why didn't I create a boundary? Right. Yes, I beat myself up all the time. Sure. That has happened all the time. I self-sabotage. Yes. Sometimes. Long time ago. Oh yes, definitely. Yes. Amberly loves the framework. So glad you're loving it. Sometimes, love seeing is sometimes. That's great. It is so easy to be hard on ourselves though, right? Not meeting my goals is a big one. Yeah, especially a lot of us. Like I feel like there are some of us, myself included, who can be very driven, a little bit competitive, and you're just like, wait, I really wanted to get to this point. And you might even tie your value to that. Like for example, and here's a great thing that I'll even share too, because like me a few years ago, even with launching this book, would have been so stressed out today. I would have been like, am I going to hit the #1 on Amazon? I would have been freaking out. But like today, I just felt so calm because I'm like, my worth is not tied to how well this book does. Yes, I really want it to get out there. But honestly, writing this book, it was healing for me and it's made a difference in our early readers. And I was like, if that's all it does, it was worth it. But obviously, I want to get it out more, right? But I'm not making that goal tied to my worth. And I feel like a lot of times we do that. And a lot of times it's not just a goal, but it's doing all the things on our to-do list or making all the all your colleagues on your teacher team happy, or doing all the Pinteresty things in your classroom, right? Thinking that you have to do all these things. And if not, that you're a bad teacher. Like, that's just not true. Like, what does it mean to be a bad teacher? Like, if you were to actually ask yourself that question, it probably wouldn't be like, oh, a bad teacher is a teacher who doesn't do everything on Pinterest. That's a bad teacher. So logically, this, but you're being much harder on yourself, right? So that is, I got on a rabbit hole there. Sorry. Those of you who, I know a lot of you were probably new to me here. Those of you who are new to me, I go down rabbit holes. It's kind of something we do here at Educate and Rejuvenate. So hopefully you are along for the ride. Lupe says, I totally feel bad for not having the courage to take better care of myself. And that's the other thing. So then what we do, and this is what I like to talk, and this is why in chapter 1, one of the very first things I talk about before we get into all the tools is having self-compassion and having curiosity instead of judgment. And then when you notice judgment, don't judge yourself for the judgment. Like just notice it and then be like, oh, okay. And then offer yourself so much compassion because we're all doing the best we can in a given moment, right? And that goes for our students, that goes for the parents, that goes for admin, that goes for our teacher team, and that goes for ourselves. So when we can be kinder to ourselves, we can also give other people around us so much more grace. Like really, because the way we treat ourselves is the way we treat others and vice versa. And we talk about that a lot in the book too. So it all ties together. Tara said the rabbit holes make it real. You're a real person that practices what she preaches. Thank you, Tara. Tara's been a member of our community for quite a while now. Love having you here. Everybody says, I feel bad that I don't have anything on my bulletin board yet. Ooh, who can relate to that one? Can anybody relate to that? I feel like a lot of us are like, oh, my bulletin board. Oh, no. But really, what is the worst thing that could happen if that bulletin board weren't done, right? Our brain likes to make these things such a huge deal that aren't always. And that is what we actually talk about a lot in that third section, in the Align Yourself section. We talk about really getting clear on what is important and what isn't, because we can't do everything. We really can't. And be intentional. So we have a full chapter. Okay, because I hear you all, okay? I hear everybody being like, I don't have time. I don't have time for everything, right? Inside and outside of teaching. And that's why we have a whole entire chapter on creating an intentional schedule. And this is for your entire life because we don't teach in a silo, right? Because a lot of the problem is about not setting boundaries, about, oh, I'm working all the time, instead of like, I'm working at like 9 p.m. at night grading papers after like the only break I took was to make dinner quick for my family. And then I hardly talked to my kids and I was frustrated with them because I have not taken a break. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how it is for a lot of us. If we aren't being intentional, if we aren't following this framework, if we're just going with what comes up, because what comes up naturally, like our brain has a negativity bias, right? And we have all these like again, we tend to be hard on ourselves. So all of this we talk about, and I'm not going to get into all this. If any of you have read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, you might be familiar with this framework, but we talk a lot about the urgency matrix in the book. Whew, I'm realizing my air conditioning must not be on right now. It is like, it is that time of year here where it goes back and forth between whether you need air conditioning or not. And for anybody else, I'm like, oh, I'm sweating now. It's crazy. I'm like, husband, can you turn the AC on? Okay. So we're going to create our ideal week, right? We're going to learn how to do that. This template is in your workbook, which I'm going to do a full tour of the workbook tomorrow, but I'll just show you my printed version here shortly before we dive into the bonuses. We're almost there. We're going to reflect on how the week went, and then we're going to look at like, what is it? Like if your week didn't go how you want, just learning from it. Instead of judging yourself for it, there's some questions here or things that's like, oh, which one of these things was it? Like, why? Is it because I was trying to fit too many things into too small of a time frame? Is it because I didn't have enough open space to rearrange if needed? Is it because of my emotions? Is it because a season has changed? And that doesn't just mean like winter, summer, spring. It means like just a season of life. It can be going back to school, or it can be like going back to school for the school year. It can be that you went back to school, like you're taking classes. It could be that your husband's not around as much. Or your spouse or partner, or it could be, like, again, lots of different things, right? That can change. Like we all have seasons just of our life and we don't take that into account, or the unexpected could have happened, right? Or so many different things. We need to have self-compassion if things don't go as planned, but then you can do like a time audit. There are different things you can do to kind of get into it. And then we just want to embrace the full journey along the way and notice how much progress we're making, because the fact that you were here almost an hour into this live shows that you were already like, and I've seen a few of you here being like, this is my self-care today, being here on this live, being here at this launch party, like you are doing it a little bit at a time. And it's not going to be an overnight, like, oh my gosh, now my life is just amazing and beautiful and gorgeous every second of the day. In fact, it'll never be that way because that just wouldn't be realistic, right? But you will notice like, wow, like if I compare myself now to the different stories I told in the book of where I was, it's like, I feel like I'm a completely different person. And I can't remember if we talk about this concept as extensively in the book or not, but it's kind of this concept of like, we have our past self, we have our present self, and we have our future self, right? And just imagine like, what would your future self do for you today? Like, what is something that you could do today that your future self would be like, oh, I'm so glad I did that, right? And those little things, it's not like overnight change. It's little shifts. It's that little 1%. It's that looking at your little win each day, which is something we talk a lot about here at Educate and Rejuvenate. And coming together and doing it as a community. And whether that is your school community, whether that's you would buy a book for your teacher bestie and you both do this work together. Also, there's community for everybody who purchases the book, because we are doing a book club, a book study with everybody who purchases a copy of the book. It'll be live for everybody who buys it now, because it's happening September through, I think it's the beginning of December. Get like 3 weeks to read each section, and then we'll discuss. And again, even if you haven't read it all yet, still come and discuss, because we did a book club this summer and probably half the people are like, oh, I didn't get around to reading it yet, but it's okay. It kind of still enriches your experience of reading when you get around to it. So you'll get to work with me. You'll get to come on and we'll really get to talk about the book. You'll get to ask me your questions once you've already started reading. We're going to discuss. I will have discussion questions. It's going to be a lot of fun. So there's a community portion to it as well. And I talk about in the book why community is so important. But you're getting all of that just by purchasing a copy of the book. Just by, oh, and thank you, Elena. Elena's back here, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Elena helping out, getting the link there for all of you. So thank you. So we've got the Educate and Rejuvenate book you get, but also we have some incredible bonuses you're going to get too. So we have a PDF workbook. The teacher that I am, printed it out. If you were watching my Instagram stories, you might have seen a little behind the scenes of me doing this with my daughter this morning. But you're getting this beautiful workbook. It's a PDF. You can print it out if you want. And it's like 100 and something pages. Like it wouldn't even fit all in one Canva document because it was so big. We had to divide it into two. it did it first, and then I was like, oh, but we need to add this. We need to add that. We need to add that. And it got really long. So we've got all these exercises that basically are going to walk you through the book. So like you can read the book and consume the information, right? And you'll still be way far along if you do that versus doing nothing. But then if you do this workbook and actually like answer the questions and do the journaling and do the exercises, like you will be blown away, honestly. And I don't say that because like, ooh, I made this and I'm so awesome. No, it's because these tools are research backed. Like I learned this through doing it, through reading like a zillion books. I mean, not a zillion, but a lot. Doing my certification and just doing the work myself. And working with the teachers I've been working with on all this. So we talk about different cognitive distortions. And so much of this is new. So even for our members who are in the comments, you'll notice like, oh, wow, this is more than I've ever seen before. It is. We went a little, we went a little crazy with this workbook. It's been a lot of fun. So you'll see it's like extensive, and we're going to do like a full tour of it tomorrow. So you're going to be able to apply everything. Oh, I didn't mean to put me too up there. There we go. You're gonna be able to put together the model. I'm just gonna see if there are any particular pages I should definitely show you. But again, lots of journaling. The other thing you're going to get, and that this will show you, is that you're going to get access to our mobile app. Which is really exciting. Right now, only our members and people who purchased a platinum pass to our summer event are in there. We haven't launched the like free tier of it yet, but our book buyers get in, and you get all the replays for the book club will be in there. All the links to join the book club will be in there. It'll be on Zoom. We'll email you too, but you'll find it in there. Video tutorials for all these exercises. So like if you're like, wait, I don't really know what to do with this one, there'll be video tutorials for each exercise. I've also put a lot of our past trainings in there. My 2 sessions from our summer Educate and Rejuvenate, our vision board challenge, our self-love challenge are in there, and our 3-day teacher transformation. So you've got a bunch of trainings. Where do you find the workbook? I looked for it and couldn't find it. So the workbook, it's maybe make sure your app is up to date, because I think we just like launched it in the app today. But we'll also email it out to everybody. And I love seeing some of you. Amberly's talking about the app already. The app is great. I'm looking forward to using it more. It is brand new. So even like our members just got in last month, I believe. It's been about a month now, but no, wait, about a month for our lifer members, but then it took us longer for the subscription. Yeah, you're going to get in. There's guided meditations. There are 3 meditations in there. All of this just by purchasing the book. Like you're getting access to all of that in the app. All the replays for the book club, the workbook. And then in addition, so the workbook and the app is always going to be there whenever you purchase the book, anytime. But we have some special bonuses that are only this week too. And give me just a second, because again, with my whole screen thing, my camera not working, my screen was not quite ready to show those. Oh, but first, before we do that, I have another thing I want to share quick. I got to stop sharing the screen of my quick image I made that I was troubleshooting a tech issue. Gotta love it. Okay, for those of you who are at the beginning, a lot of you are like, what are you talking about? At the beginning of this live, I was 4 minutes late because my camera wasn't working. That's all you need to know. Nothing too exciting. I'm a little confused on which screen. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so first off, before we get into that, I want to show you. So thank you to everybody who's pre-ordered copies so far, because we are number 1 in 3 categories today. In instruction, methods, in teacher and student mentoring. Look, here's Ron Clark over here. And here's some other great books over here. We're number 1 today, and in homeschooling. So again, super exciting. And I have all of you to thank for pre-ordering the book, for being here. Okay, so I also want to show you that we are doing a special thing right now just for launch week. So just if you order now. So we have some special bonuses. So what you'll do is you'll choose your number of books, but I actually need to go up here to show you. Okay, so if you purchase 1 copy of the book, So just for yourself, Katie says we should buy the book, right? I mean, yes, I say everybody should buy the book, right? But I mean, that's me, because, and not because I'm just like, oh, you should buy it because I want you to buy it because I wrote it or whatever, but really because these tools are going to help you so much, and we are throwing so much into the bonuses right now. So you're going to get that full workbook. You're going to get the app video walkthroughs and the book study. There's also a $30 credit to our resource shop, a free month of the club, and I'm not going to be doing this forever because that would get really become a pain. But through launch week, which goes through September 19th, anybody who fills out the form for their copy will get a sticker to make your book a signed copy. So we'll be printing it out. It'll be cute. And then I will sign it. Like I'm not printing out the signature. We'll print out a cute border around it. And then I will sign it. So then you can stick it in your book and you have a signed copy, right? And we're only doing that for launch week. And all these other special bonuses. Now, if you buy 2 copies, so this is our most recommended offer because the bonuses will pay for it. And then you have a built-in accountability buddy who's not just online, because like we do everything we can to try to get you there. We send you emails. We even send you a text if you give us your phone number. Like we really want to hold you accountable. But having a friend to help you or other people at your school to do this with you just makes it so you're much more likely to follow through, right? So that's the big reason. And also we double your shop credit to the Educate Rejuvenate shop. So again, that will pay for it, right? There you go. You get $60. You could get a big bundle off of our shop. You'll also get to join an additional book night at the end of the book club. That's an exclusive just Q&A with me all about the book. It'll be at the very end of the book club if you buy 2 copies or more. So that'll just be those who buy 2 or more. You'll also get a ticket to our 2024-2025 Educate and Rejuvenate conference for both you and your friend. So those sell for $19.99. So that is a $40 value right there. And you'll get 2 book stickers. So each of you will get a book sticker. We need to make that more clear. But yeah, each of you would get one for each book. Now, I also, my team and I were debating because people were asking if you're like, because here's the deal. I do love the idea of you having an accountability buddy. But if you buy yourself a Kindle and you buy yourself a paperback, yes, we will let you do this. Okay. But accountability buddies really help. Then we have one if you buy 10 copies. So let's say, and it doesn't have to be you buying all 10. It can be you get a teacher group together and you all buy one so you can do a book club. So the additional thing you're going to get, which we are still finishing this up. So again, each member of the book club, so 10 of you will get a $60 credit to our resource shop. So for those of you who don't know, I started as a TPT seller. We have like over 1,000 resources that you'll be able to choose from to use on that shop. Pre-K through 6th is what the shop covers. The host, like whoever puts together the group, would get one of our planners in the mail. You'll also get an exclusive book club guide to help you host your own book club. So not just joining us for ours, but hosting your own in-person book club, you know, with the fun drinks and snacks and laughs all together. I mean, not that we can't do that virtually, but it'll be super fun for all of like whoever you bring together to do that. And then all 10 of you would get a ticket to the virtual conference and the stickers. And then the final one is if you buy 30 copies, you will get a virtual Zoom PD session with me. So this is more ideally for school leaders who be purchasing it for their school, right? Like I'm not like, hey, you individual teacher, I expect you to buy 30 copies. Like, no, that's why our most recommended is the teacher bestie. And we also include so much just for buying one. But if you do that, you'll get a virtual Zoom PD session with me. So I can come and actually do a virtual PD session with your school on the topic of the book. And $100 shop credit for each teacher. So they can get tons of resources. Oh yeah. So Marie Chris, we can help you out with that. We can just email customer service and we can make sure that you are taken care of. So if you don't know their info, that's totally fine. We had it so you could add their info if you want, but also like we know that we're gonna be working individually with a lot of you, and we're totally cool with that. We are all in with helping all of you out. I've got an awesome team behind me, so it's not just me. We have a free month of the Educate Rejuvenate Club for new members. We have an exclusive PDF book guide. We have 5 Educate and Rejuvenate planners sent in the mail so again, we're thinking this would be for a school, so you'd be able to use them for like incentives or however you want for your team, or just teachers you feel like could use that extra boost or who maybe don't have a planner yet. And then tickets for your whole school team to come to the virtual PD conference too. So if you want to talk to your admin and be like, hey, I think this would be a great opportunity for you. I think this would be a great opportunity for you to, great opportunity for you to, wow, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm like, oh, it's hour, 12 minutes on Zoom. I'm doing great. Opportunity for you to bring your team together and all of you feel less burned out. All of you feel less stressed. And what a gift to their team, right? For new teachers, yes, talk to your admin. Yeah, talk to your admin and see. Because then maybe you'll get your book covered that way too. And this will be through launch week. And again, like for this one, if you're like, hey, like it's a few days, like it's a week later and we haven't figured, like my admin just said, yes, just reach out to us. We'll make sure that we take care of you. Okay, so what you'll do is you will follow these 3 steps. So first you will order your copies from Amazon. So you can click and that'll just take you to Amazon. Also, if you ordered somewhere else, that's fine too. Then you'll take a screenshot of your order receipt and then you'll just click on which form that you did and you'll be able to fill it out. So the link to this page should be in the description of this video, wherever you're watching it. I think I can pop it in the chat here. I think this will put it everywhere too. Oh, hang on. It's being a little funky. Okay, so this is where, just for those limited time bonuses, you'll be able to do that. Okay. So those are all the bonuses. And then there's also like, I know most of you know how to take a screenshot, but just for those who don't, we have directions on how to take a screenshot on there and everything. So that is our, okay, and starred questions. How do we make sure the person we gift the book to receives the bonuses? On the form, I believe it has Kelsey, other Kelsey on my team put together the form, but I believe what she ended up doing, we went back and forth on a few things because we realized it was a little bit more complicated. We're like, oh wait, how do we do this? So how do you make sure the person we gift the book will receive the bonuses? So it should be on the form if you have their email. I know some of you are like, I don't have it or whatever. You can also just put their name and then tell them to reach out to us and we'll make sure they're taken care of. And if you're ever just like, they still haven't gotten it or I can't figure it out, just email us at hello@educateandrejuvenate.com and we'll make sure to take care of you. The admin would need to purchase them during launch week, right? I mean, that's for all of these bonuses. But we'd probably we could still, work something out with your admin if it's after that too. But for like everything we have here, like the tickets and all of that, that would be for launch week. Yes. Yeah. If you need any help, hello@educateandrejuvenate.com with the bonuses, with claiming those. We are happy to help you out with that. I know Gloria, when will ours be mailed? So the lifetime members who got a book with your lifetime package, we've tried to keep you all updated via email, but I know that sometimes they go to junk and everything. So we are going to hopefully have the books, I'm hoping by next week. And then I need to sign them all. My husband's almost done with all the swag and then we'll all go out in one lovely package together. So we're getting so close. So close. A hint who the special guest is. I will just tell you, it is my friend Ashley from Rainbow Sky Creations. And she is incredible. Like, I just love her so much. She hasn't spoken at one of our events yet. So she's going to be new for everyone. And I know for everyone who is part of our community. So I know that a lot of you have been like, I want to see some new faces. So she is amazing. So excited to have her. And then that'll be on, Tuesday's live, Tuesday the 17th. And then on that day, we're also going to reveal some other fun bonuses that anybody who buys a copy now will also get. It'll just be a surprise for you, but we're revealing what they are on Tuesday. So you have that to look forward to as well. So you'll get another bonus gift, a bundle from a bunch of my friends who all make stuff too. So it's going to be fun. And then Okay. Did I get all the questions? Okay, let us know if you have any other questions. Also, you can email anytime. How do I put that email one back up? If you need any help, email us at hello@educateandrejuvenate.com, and we will be happy to help you out. Amberly is so excited. Best book launch party ever. Now, this is just the first of all of our, and now we need to figure out the giveaway winner, right? Because I have not forgotten. Sometimes I do, and then I go off, and then everybody's like, wait, what about your do you need to order the workbook? No. So for all of our members, we're unlocking the book stuff for you, just because it would make it way easier, because we know with the app, with that, if you accidentally did 2 different accounts and stuff, we're just like, we want to make it simple. So if you are already in the Educate and Rejuvenate Club, it'll unlock the app bonuses for you, and the workbook is linked there, but you're going to need a copy of the book for the book club anyway. So I would love for you to purchase that book anyway, but just know that the, will lifers receive their book before the book club starts? I would think so. If not, email me and we can, because I know our all the lifetime members, because it's a small group of people. I think we sent you the digital file to be our early readers, so you would have that for the book club, or for that if for whatever reason not. But I'm really hoping we would have them by then. Okay. Marie Chris is so exciting. LOL. I feel like I just got the book for free. I love it. Oh, it's on there a few times. Oh, Kinsey. Sorry. Kinsey was on it. She picked the winner. Okay, so Amberly, you won the signed copy. So congratulations. And you were commenting a lot. So that goes to show commenting a lot on these lives does give you a whole lot of entries. That's the word I was looking for. A lot of entries to win the giveaway. So this is the first of many lives. We have quite a few of them. I created a really easy way for you to add all the lives to your calendar, because we have another one tomorrow where I'm actually going to go through the workbook extensively. I'm going to screen share and share the workbook. On Saturday, I'm going to share the app. On Sunday, I'm going to be chatting with my first life coach and really just kind of getting personal about some of this stuff. On Monday, I have me and all my coach friends from our Educate and Rejuvenate Club talking all about the book. On Monday, we have the extra resource bundle with the special guest, Ashley from Rainbow Sky Creations. And then we're going to wrap up with a trivia, but I will keep you all posted. We might be moving the trivia. I noticed that on Amazon, it's saying they're taking a little bit longer to ship. And also, I thought it might be good to give all of you a little bit more time to read it. And also for those who purchase more towards the end. So we might push back the trivia. We'll let you know soon if we decide to do that. I just didn't want the trivia to be happening and like people's books are just arriving in their mail. So yes, the workbook we print ourselves. Yes, it is a PDF guide. Yes. Does the workbook come with that, with the lifers? Yes. So all of that is already going to be there for you. So you already have it. So you're not missing out on anything, Gloria, because you're already getting all of it already. So no worries about that. So no, you don't need to order the workbook. The workbook is just included with the book. Like the only people who are getting a book in the mail from the club are the ones who join the lifetime plan. But so if you want a copy of the book, you'll need to order that. But hopefully that's clear. The workbook is not a separate purchase. The workbook is included with the book, and it's in the section of the app. It's linked in there. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes, you'll email hello@educateandrejuvenate.com for the prizes. Let me share a little bit just about before we hop off, and I will keep watching to make sure I didn't miss anything else. Oh, here we go. So here's tonight's live. Tomorrow we're going to peek inside the PDF workbook. On Saturday, we're going to look at the mobile app. On Sunday, I'm doing that chat. I talked about all these, but you'll see they're all here, but the times, they do vary a little bit. The weekends are morning, early afternoon, and then they move an hour later next week. This one on the 19th is the one we might move. I believe it will update on your calendar if you use this button to add to your calendar, but I'm not 100% sure. So please watch your email from us, or just watch even wherever you're watching this stream right now. We'll make sure it gets updated there. So if you're like on the Teacher Goals LinkedIn or any of the Teacher Goals channels or on our Facebook page, the event will make sure it gets updated, or add a new one if needed. I think LinkedIn requires you creating a new one. If we move it, we will make sure you know. What you can do is you can just say add to calendar, and this will add all of them to your calendar. So you can know when, like have it on there so you can remember to hop in on all the lives, because you'll see each day. Tomorrow, we're giving away a $50 Amazon gift card. On Saturday, we're giving away a wireless battery pack. On Sunday, we're giving away one of our luxury bound planners. On Monday, we're giving away a teacher backpack. On the 17th, Tuesday, we're giving away another $50 Amazon gift card. And then on the 19th, we're going to have way more prizes, like a ton of prizes, like a laminator, a planner, gift card. On Instagram stories today, I think we decided we were going to add a binding machine too. So it's going to be a really great time. You're definitely, if you only choose one other live to attend, I would snag your copy right now, so you make sure you have it for trivia, and then add the trivia to your calendar, which is right now the 19th, but might move. If it moves, it'll probably be to the following Tuesday or Wednesday. So we will keep you posted on that. Yeah, Andrea says, I love this option to just subscribe and add them all to my calendar. Love it. Okay. But we all need to print it. Yes. So this, like I mentioned, I just shared in my stories, there is no physical copy right now. Though Elena and I have talked, Elena from Teacher Goals and I have talked about maybe at some point we will create a physical copy to be available for purchase for those who would want that. But right now, you would print it out. So I printed this on my own laminator and binding machine, which is why we're going to give away a laminator and a binding machine on the trivia day. But yeah, I just printed it out, found it myself. So, because the teacher and me had to do that. Yeah, go to my stories and see it. My little 8-year-old, she's so cute. I was like, do you think I should give away a binding machine? And she's like, yes, mommy, I think you should. So I'm like, okay, we're giving away a binding machine now because my 8-year-old said so. So we added another prize. So we're going to have a lot of prizes. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be kind of like, what's the word? What's that one that we all use? I am having a brain cramp right now. You know, like that game, like it's going to be actually like where you can log in with your phone, and Kahoot, kind of like Kahoot. It's a similar one to it that we'll be doing. So it's like actually a trivia game, and it'll like show you the leaderboard every so often of who's in the lead and stuff. So you're going to want your copy. Yes, Kahoot. Thank you. And that shows how long the delay is. There's always a delay on these streams. But yeah, so we will make sure that you are all covered and taken care of, so you have your copy before that. So that's why we might be moving the trivia back. But that's why you might want to order your copy now to make sure you have it. So, because if you have the book, you have your cheat sheet, right, to the questions, because we'll be like in chapter 5 or whatever. You'll be like, ooh, hurry, chapter 5, like, you know, and find the answer to the question. Or if you've read it, maybe you'll just remember if you have amazing reading comprehension. Okay. Where is the workbook? So the workbook, if you fill out that form for all the bonuses, you'll get it that way too. We want to make it really easy. So whatever way we get somebody's information, we make sure you get all of it. Also inside the book, throughout the book, it tells you where to go to get it. So there's like a page in the book when you get it, whether you have it on Kindle. Kindle is like right now, whether you have it on Kindle or whatever, it's throughout the book. Like see, there's like a QR code. There's a link that you can type in so you can make sure that you get it. So really easy, really easy. Yes, and it is linked in the app too. But to get into the app, you would need to use like that link as well. So, but we added it to the app just to make it really easy for you to find too. Because sometimes we know like that initial email or whatever, you're like, wait, where did that go? But the app, once you download it, it's on your phone. The one thing to note about the app bonuses is you can't just go to the app store and download the app. It's not going to show up that way. You have to go through one of our forms that'll activate your account and give you that product, because the book bonuses aren't just widely available on the app yet. So I would recommend not downloading the app until you get that email from us, just so you don't accidentally, we've had some people be like, wait, but it's not showing up for me. And it's because they like created an account with a different email than the one they use to claim the bonuses or to join our membership or whatever. So I would recommend, if you haven't downloaded our app yet, which is probably most of you, I would fill out the form first, because then it will create an account and then you just have to create a password. So again, the book, you're going to want to snag a copy to get all these bonuses, especially during launch week. We have even more. So you can go to Educate and Rejuvenate. Oh, wait, hang on. What is the link? Is it educaterejuvenate.com/book, or is that the wait list? We need to put that link up here again. Okay, by tomorrow, I'll have one I can easily say out loud. I think Teacher Goals is an easy one too. I'm going to grab that link though, or somebody else might be on it. Let's see who wins, me, Elena, or Kinsey. Elena won. There we go. So go to teachergoals.com/educate. Perfect. I'm going to remember that now. That was an easy link. So Teacher Goals has been so gracious to let me be on their platforms tonight. And the Teacher Goals team has put so much work into putting together this book too. Like this beautiful cover, the layout. Like I just love how the layout of this book turned out. Elena did a lot of it, and then Heather did too, right? And they really took my feedback in mind too. I was like, I want really nice fonts. I want and they just did such a beautiful job with it. It came together so well. The editors were amazing. Like it was a beautiful experience writing this book with Teacher Goals. So definitely give them support. Support their other books too. They've got so many great authors. And snag your copy of Educate and Rejuvenate this week. And yeah, I hope to see some of you tomorrow when we go through the whole workbook. And I know some of you are probably like, I can't join you on a live every day. Totally get it if you can't join me on a live every day. There will be replays. You also don't have to watch the replays if you don't want to. I'm not telling you you have to. Really, I'm doing this because I'm excited and I want to make sure that everybody can get the information that they want. About like, if you're like, okay, I need to see the workbook before I make my decision. I need to see the app. If you've already bought your book, you're maybe like, okay, I've got it. I'm in, I'm good. But I hope to see you tomorrow just because we have so much fun. And Valerie's going to try. I hope to see you. Hope to see you there, Valerie. I was about to call you Val, but then I realized I don't know if you go by Val. I have a friend who goes by Val. Hannah says she's impressed with the layout. Me too. It turned out so great. Yes. Cheer for everybody. It was definitely a joint effort getting this book put together. So hope to see you all tomorrow. And yeah, that's it for tonight. Have an amazing night, everyone. We went a half hour over. Oh, yes, it is on Kindle Unlimited. You are right about that. Yes. So if you're like, ooh, I want a physical copy, I don't know if I'm going to have it in time or whatever. It's on Kindle Unlimited. So you can read it right away. It's totally fine. Aiming for every day. Love it. Gloria hopes to as well. I would love to see you every day if you're able to. That'd be so much fun. We're going to have a great time. Okay. We are right on hour and a half. So I think it's a good time to close up. If you have any questions, email me and my team at hello@educateandrejuvenate.com. Otherwise, you can find your copy on Amazon or just type in teachergoals.com/educate. And that will take you right to where you can purchase the book. Okay. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.